We're coming to the end of a year of many firsts. This was our first year, late winter, early this spring, that we started canning at Canal Place and going to distribution. And unfortunately, with December, this is going to be the end of the seasonals. This is our the second to the last seasonal. It's a good one. It's Twitchy Eggnog, and it's being released this Friday. You'll probably see this review Saturday. This is just a review, what to expect. Now, what is eggnog? Well, you already know, you love it or hate it. But what is it really? It's a drink made with milk, cream, sugar, egg whites, and the yolks. It's frothed. Usually you add brandy, rum, or whiskey. I prefer the rum version. And the characteristic spices are cinnamon and nutmeg. Now, let's see what this tastes like. This got canned last week. We didn't release it last week because we had our Christmas sale release. I already smell that rich coffee. And this is not heavily spiced like most holiday Christmas ales. Just a little bit. We want the coffee to come through, not too many flavors overpowering you. So what we did here is we got some coffee beans from Pearl Coffee right up the street, and specifically they're called Eggnog Brulee. So you know what eggnog is? Brulee is caramelized sugar. So you're gonna get a little bit of caramel sweetness on the back end. That's good. A little bit of eggnog on the back end. Coffee first, eggnog finish. And being eggnog, we did not use any dairy or eggs in this product. This is just beans and the spice package. So don't worry about having that rich creaminess stuffed into this beer of eggs, egg yolks, sugar, and this and that. This is just Imperial Stout, Eggnog Brulee coffee beans. So how did we brew this? So this is one of our 9.25% Imperial Stouts, kind of carbon black base that we've been making out of the valley for 5 years. We add coffee beans to the Twitchy version off the carbon black base. It's a standard it's one of our easier stout brews, about 2 weeks. We use about 2 pounds of Pearl coffee beans per barrel of beer. So we made 32 barrels of this, so we used about 64 pounds of coffee. So I look like Santa Claus coming out of Pearl Coffee with 2 big burlap bags of coffee beans. After it's done fermenting, we send it to our bright tank. Once everything's clear, everything's dropped off, we'll send it to our bright tank so we can get an exact volume. That's where we add the coffee beans. We charge this big cylinder with the beans and beer, let it sit for a day. We recirculate it the next day, get all that coffee bean goodness mixed in with the beer. We taste it, see if we need to go another day or two. Usually it's good for 1 day. We get the flavors that we want. Now the other question that I've been asked and that I've recently tasted is, what's the lifespan of a coffee beer? Now, we know when we make a fresh batch of coffee, however we make it, you don't want to reheat it. It's not as good. As it's cooling down is the best that coffee is going to be. So the chemicals in coffee that make up what we like about coffee, they're incredibly labile, which means they break down easily. It's not going to be fresh too long. You can't reheat a cup of coffee. It just doesn't taste the same. So yesterday at home, I still had some Jamaican Me Crazy Twitchy in our cooler that I've been saving. So I cracked one of those open and I tasted it, solid beer, but the coffee was kind of stale. So I looked at the bottom of the cans. So we did a canning run of this on April 22nd, one of our COVID releases. And we also did one on July 15th. And this is one of the best. This is, in my opinion, the best coffee beer that has come out of the R.Shea house. Jamaican Me Crazy. The Kahlua and coffee notes are amazing. But with both of these, the coffee was kind of stale. The stout held up fine. The flavors held up fine, but the coffee got stale for both of them. They were kind of identical. This one was 8 months old since it's been canned. This one's 5 months. So I would say don't sit on these coffee beers thinking that they're going to be better. Treat it like you do a regular coffee. Drink it immediately. I would say you have a good 3 months for the coffee to be just as good as it was canned, and then it's going to start to fade. So I do remember I was drinking this after we released it for the next several months, and I got no hint of staleness. It's just after that 5 month mark, that 4 to 5 month mark, it's going to decline. So don't cellar these, don't save them to trade or do a vertical drink. Drink these coffee beers and anybody's coffee beers within the first 1 to 3 months. Now let's get on to food pairings. This yields to some very interesting food pairings. Ham and cheese stuffed mushrooms. I love mushrooms. That sounds delicious, the food pairing with this. Chocolate cake with sour cream frosting. Cheese pairing, caveman blue. So you got this cheese with little veins of blue running through it. It's a cool looking cheese. And Montgomery's cheddar. I haven't had Montgomery's cheddar, but sounds like he makes good cheddar. So that is the lowdown on Twitchy Eggnog. We hope to see you.